James Rivera, Helstar. Hey, man, what's up? 30 years, past 30 years in the music business. How's it feel?
Great, man.
Cool.
I can't complain, man.
Cool. Yeah, you feel it was beneficial to your career, going into music, or, would you rather have done something else?
Well, on a financial aspect of, in terms of owning a big 5-bedroom house with a white picket fence and having maybe Social Security and retirement wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah.
Maybe, but being who I am and knowing what I know now, hell no.
Yeah, but you get to travel the world.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Everybody's pushing a pen and at a desk 9 to 5 or whatever hours they can work up, and they're miserable.
Yeah.
It seems like you got almost like the perfect life.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, well, in some cases, but no, I'm enjoying what I've been doing, so it's been great, man.
Cool. This Wicked Nest. Tell me a little bit about the new album.
Well, the new album, to sum it up, it's a very, very brutal, heavy album, and but it's also the album that basically the way we describe this album is this album in a nutshell is the album that we feel will embrace all Helstar fans all the way around, from the old ones and the new ones, and all the elements are there perfectly for that. And that was was our plan, was to give all the Helstar fans something that they all can enjoy and embrace.
Cool. Now, working on this album, since like I said, you have a history in music and legendary, but how can you come up with new songs after, being in the music business this long?
At some points you even ask yourself that. I will admit, every time I get ready to write a new album, and it's because I'm thinking about it too much. That's all it is that I do feel like, I can't even think of rhyming you and blue at the time, and
Right.
It's just weird. Or, what subject do I want to touch on? The way it happens the most and the easiest is when you basically don't think about it too much.
Right.
And you'll be surprised, the most simplest and it's something you're not even thinking about will just pop up.
Right.
And usually with me, it's just watching the news. There's so much madness and craziness and sickness and corruption in this world that, I could write a double album every day, so so when you have that going on, there's always some new lunatic running around doing something new to outdo the last lunatic that was headline news, you know what I mean?
So plenty of them.
There's plenty of them. It's not some girl murdering her daughter and hiding her in a trunk for fucking 5 months, then it's, it just goes on and on and on. So you never can run out of ideas, especially for a metal band, because a real metal band is never really about the most joyous subjects in the world, although we don't want to be too negative, but
right.
Come on, we're not going to write about the day you met your girlfment at the beach.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
No, that ain't happening.
No, unless you like getting beat, with a leather belt and spikes, then maybe. But no, so it's always going to revolve around the darker subjects of the world. So CNN headline news has got plenty of material. I don't even have to ever read a book or open a book anymore.
Wow, cool, definitely cool. Like traditional thrash and stuff like that. Really, this album holds true to the historic times of metal, and you went a little bit out of your element in different songs and stuff like that, some instrumental stuff, but it definitely holds that history-making sound of yesteryear. And did you try to do that, or
Well, we did and we didn't. We knew that it would be a good idea to do that, but we didn't want to think about it too much again.
Right.
But when we got together, all I did when we discussed this record is you basically just say, I did say, yeah, well, we realized some people were a little butthurt when we put out Glory, especially some of the older fans that never grew out of that one box past 1986.
Right.
So for Helstar to put out a record like that wasn't quite it didn't make them not like us anymore, but it just made them be like, oh, I was a little disappointed that they went that direction. And I'm like, it's kind of like, well, man, if it had been one thing to stick it in my butt, but at least you could have spit on my butthole or something. He just like, whoosh, way, ow, So,
yeah, but then if you did go out, do something you changed, they'll go, oh man, they changed. I like that old stuff,
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. So it's kind of like one of those you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, Or if we did one of the albums all over again, then you'd have it doesn't sound so original. It sounds just like what they did on this album, So you're like you know what? It's like my dad always said, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time.
That's the truth.
And so with that in mind, but I did say, let's try to make the ultimate Helstar record, because with Glory we won a lot of new fans, so we did the right thing too. On the other hand, matter of fact, we've become actually more of something in the U.S. again, which was also another goal of ours. We love Europe. We love being known for the fact that, oh yeah, Europe's our base, man. That's where we go and do all the killer shows. Well, after so long, the money you spend on flights and everything over there, you start to feel a little like, man, well, shit, we're an American band. Well, why can't our own country love us?
Right.
And so you start feeling a little like Charlie Brown.
Right.
And like, I gotta rock. So we knew that Glory gave us that extra hug in the U.S. by the newer metal kids, because they're the kind of people they wouldn't listen to an old power metal record. Give them that, they'll be like, this is cool, but it's that old stuff, And so you know what I mean. So then we're like, okay, well we can relate to that, and these kids love us now. So given that, we had to figure out, okay, that's when I said, okay, well, here's what we'll do with the next out, guys. I got it, and this will be the final rocket ship for us. And I think if we do records like this one for the next 10 years, we're going to reach different plateaus easy.
Right.
So what we got to do is we got to keep these new people that just discovered us and didn't even know we were around, and then, but we got to bring back those old ones that were a little butthurt, and so let's do the perfect thing, and let's try to subconsciously, but not too consciously, think of bringing back a little bit more of the Distant Thunder, Nosferatu influence, and that's when I said, and you know what, I think the other thing we'll do is, Larry, Rob, you're putting an instrumental on this record.
Right.
Now that's coming from the singer, you know what I mean? And I strongly believed. I said, if we put a badass instrumental on this thing, I'm going to sing more melodic. I want room for more. I want more open space for my choruses. I want to bring. It's all you got to do. So when you say you don't want to think about it too much, but you just know the right things you need to do. There are simple things you can do to make the record more enjoyable for the old fans too.
Right.
And that's what we did.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now like again, being in music so long again, and is it difficult to reach them high notes anymore that you do on this album?
No, not at all. Really, it's second nature to me now. I can explain it scientifically. It's get in the proper amount of sleep, certain gargles, a certain gargle that I do every night before I go to bed, a certain tea I drink when I get up in the morning.
Right.
Things like that. And as far as what I drink on stage, it varies from a shot of Jaeger to a glass of wine. I'm just different,
Right.
So and every singer's different, but on an unscientific answer for that is just, I don't know. I guess I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Some singers were able to sing the same way from the moment they started till the day they died, like Ronnie James Dio, and some singers don't even have half what they used to have anymore, and you still wonder why they're still going at it. And they can't be poor.
Right. Oh, no.
It's not like, oh, my God, I got to go on tour. My car notes due. I'm like, dude, how many platinum albums? You got to be kidding me. You probably got enough money to... Well, the other thing, the flip side of that, though, is it's probably that's the part of it that was always true for them, too, was the love for the music. So
right.
Maybe that's why they don't step out. They got to just do the best they can,
I mean, some of them bands, like, I just heard... Axl Rose singing. Oh my God, that was pitiful. And then I heard Paul Stanley singing, and that was pretty bad too. And both of them I loved, but I mean, I think it's time to hang it up. Or I guess they still enjoy it, but I mean, you hear all the comments and get to hear it yourself. It's pretty bad at what they do now.
Exactly.
But going back to the album. Same with you and me. We still call it a record or an album and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's outdated now or whatever. But what would you call it?
I call it a record.
Still?
Yep, I still call it a record. Yeah, I know what you mean. Do we call it a data download?
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Check it out, guys. Our new data download will be out on April the 25th.
Right.
Our new digital download. Yeah, that just, the new CD, that still kind of used a bit, too. So, yeah, the new CD would still be proper. Our new CD is coming out, but I still call it the new album.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Even though I have second thoughts sometimes. I'm saying, the album, and, one of these times the guy goes, that ain't no fucking album, the disc or whatever you want to call it. But still, I still call it an album. Is there any chance this coming out on vinyl?
Yeah, it is, actually. There's already people ordering it on vinyl.
Cool.
I think they were going to make only 666 copies of it or some kind of cool thing like that, for the whole metal thing.
Right. That's great, because I know there's a lot of vinyl collectors. All of a sudden, a resurgence in vinyl, and everybody's doing a special edition and, colored vinyls and everything now, so that'll be a big boost, I think.
Yeah.
What about a tour after this? I know I was reading something about Europe and other America and stuff like that. What do you plan on doing?
Well, the tour for Europe starts in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And we are going to do that, and then right from there we go to the west. I want to say the West Coast, but really Vegas is not considered the West Coast. I still call it the West Coast.
Right.
I just go, wait a minute. Now, when the big earthquake hits in California and it falls off to the fucking ocean, Vegas is going to be the West Coast. So I'm thinking future, all right? Yeah. It's a West Coast tour. Shut up. It sounds dumb to go, a West tour. Like, wow, what are they going to do? Are they going to Australia? What? No, but, so we're doing Vegas, San Diego, and Orange County, L.A.
Right.
And then... then we've got some stuff lined up for the Midwest in the fall, and then we're doing the Warriors of Metal Festival in Ohio, June 28th, and then the East Coast is going to produce a couple of dates for me during the summertime. And then just got picked up by South American agency, so we're looking into going to South America for the first time. And it may not even be till the beginning of the new year, but you see, that's just it. We always tour on an album for 2 years anyways.
Right, cool. That's great. You get to see the world.
Yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I mean, in my spare time, I'm very active with my world tribute act, Sabbath Judas Sabbath, where I have 7 in America now and 3 in Europe, and other than that, I keep busy with that, and then I do still work from home too, but not very often. Right. Just here and there when I need to fill in the gap when there's no music going on. But other than that, that's about it. Like I said, those days that I work from home and I'm up by 9 o'clock, got my coffee, doing my exercise, and there goes headline news, and there comes all the ideas for the songs, and I forget about work all of a sudden. You
sound just like me. I swear to God, just like me. I get coffee. I the kids are getting ready for school. I'm sitting on the couch watching headline news for at least an hour, and then take the kids to school, and then it's my time.
Yeah, but then again, I'd be lying if I said that I really watch headline news because I want to get inspiration for songwriting. I watch it because I'm in love with Christy Paul. No.
Oh yeah, she is hot.
You too, huh?
Yeah, she's good. Robin's nice too. Robin's nice.
Yeah. Robin, she's such a darling. But no, that's kind of pretty much what I do. But I try to stay busy with music as much as possible. Right.
Is there any special thing like Helstar or yourself ask for on a tour rider when you go out?
On the tour rider, the like an unusual thing.
Yeah, or anything. People love to know
I
what
guess
you do.
The one thing that we always ask for is, that there's always scotch and there's always beer. And scotch is Rob and Mikey's thing. Mine was Jaeger, but I'm changing it to this other thing equivalent to Jaeger. I just don't remember the name of it now. I got it. My friend from Germany. He said that he'll send me it, so I'll have it in writing. So matter of fact, speaking of my writer, I got to send that out today. And but no blue M&Ms, nothing like that.
Right.
No drugs. No, yeah. One of the things that I do demand, and it's the only thing with the asterisk next to it, and it's because it says, these are the things on our rider. The thing with an asterisk next to it is a must. Like, in other words, I will not perform.
Right, cool.
If I get out of the bus or whatever it is I'm touring in and I go to the backstage area and that's not there and it's bananas.
Right. Oh, yeah. Definitely had to have that.
I gotta have a banana first thing in the morning. If not, I just fucking have a heart attack. That's just me. Don't ask me why, but it's just that it's the first food that I ever have that I ingest for the day, every day.
Wow.
And maybe because I'm an addict to a banana. I don't know. So some of the promoters, they know that and they make a joke about it, so they have like many more than I really need.
Right. That's good for you.
Yeah, it is.
It's good for you.
It's for the bones, the potassium.
Definitely. You feel like any festivals coming up that aren't announced yet you might be playing at?
No, not yet. I mean, there's a couple of things in the works. See, and I think that the one thing that I've learned, it's like you think that, haven't you learned it all in 30 years? No, you still learn something every damn year in this business, Right. One thing I think I learned for sure on this go-around, that's why we're not on a lot of festivals, is that we put the album out at the pretty much the end of spring almost, and all the festivals are already booked starting in November, December for the summer.
Right.
So it's kind of like next time around we're like, no, I think next time let's plan to put it out again, around
right.
the September releases, because that's how we see a lot of the people are going to get this new album is now getting all the great reviews. Now it's getting all its big buzz. It just came out in Europe and everything else, and it's being well received. So now there's a handful of promoters that are going, oh man, I would really like to have them on Bang Your Head, but it's filled, so it's too late.
Yeah.
So that's one lesson I learned this year, was to not put an album out in late spring,
right?
Because you will miss the festivals.
Yeah, at least the people get to hear the music and then
and then they can. Matter of fact, you know what? Who's really going back and forth with me, believe it or not, is Glenn from Prague Power.
Wow.
He's loving the record, and now it's filled. And then he had a cancellation, and he wrote me and goes, man, I just wanted to let you know so you didn't think I'm a dick, because I promised you'd be first on the list if somebody canceled, but it was one of his prog bands that canceled.
Wow.
And I guess he's got a certain format for Prague Power. So it couldn't be a band like if it was a band like us, it'd have been perfect, but it was not. It was one of his real proggy. He said, proggy beyond proggy power. And I said, well, I can always learn how to play some bagpipes or something.
Right.
Whatever I got to do to make it prog,
Yeah.
But so I mean, there's a good example of that kind of thing.
Right.
So he's like, so let's start talking about September 2015. I'm like, hey, if I'm alive, well, sure, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's nearly 2 years from now, dude.
Yeah. Put a little things off on the back burner for now.
Right? Yeah, I'd be beyond the back burner. Put that back in the cupboard,
Hey, definitely. Great, man. Well, James Rivera, Helstar, this wicked nest. How'd you come up with the name?
There we go again, watching the news. I was watching the, ABC World News, and it was when this shit was going on in Syria. When isn't shit going on over there?
I know.
It just becomes normal life for them. That's why we stop hearing about
it.
It's just that we only hear about it when it's a new country getting involved in some shit.
Right.
And you don't hear about it anymore. That doesn't mean that there's peace. That just means it's gotten worse and there's no sense talking about it anymore. But whatever it was, the reporter was he was saying something, and these desperate people are just trying so hard to deal with this, deal with that, and so many of these innocent people dying. They're just doing what they can to try to get out of this nest of wickedness, and it's and then when he said that, I was like, wow. So when we started talking about the title, I remember when he said that, I wrote it down.
Wow.
And when we started talking about the title, I sent it to Larry and Rob. They sent some titles, and I said, I got one that's going to blow all this away. So when I sent it to them, they were like, wow, both of them, wow, yeah, Nest of Wickedness, dude, that's killer. And then Larry had to analyze it too much. No, he's like that, yeah, he'll ponder on things, and he goes, well, the problem with that, he goes, I like it a lot, but man, I wish we could just stay away from that word of.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that one little two-letter word, and I'm like, okay. He goes, dude, think about it. The king of hell, remnants of war,
right?
Glory of chaos,
right?
And I was like, that's a fucking bong load moment there. Oh, really? I mean, come on. That's the only time you think of something that small. You know what I mean? He had to do a bong load, dude. Don't lie to me. So, anyways. No. He had a point. He did have a point. So it basically he took it and then he sat on it for a day, and then he said, "What about this wickedness?" And it gets rid of the of.
Right.
I said, "Oh, fuck, dude, there you go. That's fine." And that's how we came up with the title.
Cool. I guess you guys gonna like when you hit Colorado, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about the call. Yeah, so they're gonna love this album. Well, they're gonna love this album if they're the kind of potheads that make that are become more artistic and stuff. Because potheads I've noticed will be one way or the other. Don't really think a lot and get a lot of shit done. And oh man, I was just thinking. Yeah. Or you get the pothead that just watched The Godfather all three parts and don't remember any of it.
Right.
He's zoned out. So how was the movie? I guess it was all right, dude.
Don't get the track.
I think it was pretty cool, man. I know the music was cool, but yeah. So I mean, I think it'd be nice to get up there and check it out and see what's happening up there now these days.
Yeah. Well, man, James, it was great talking to you. A lot of fun. I never laughed so much in my life. That's good
dude.
interview.
I always love doing interviews with you. So you always ask the right questions that leaves that window wide open to talk about something in a more, like if I was sitting down with you just bullshitting,
right.
It's like I'm gonna go hang out with James Rivera so I can be bored and get all depressed.
Right.
Yeah. James Rivera invited me out for a beer, and all he talked about was his problems and how he ain't got no money. And, and it's like, yeah, he talked about his problems and his money, but he made a fucking joke about it.
Man, I got tears.
As a matter of fact, it was so funny. He talked to the guy at the table next to us buying our rounds. He invited me out for a beer, but the guy next to me paid for the bill.
That's okay.
That's pretty clever, isn't it?
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, anyways, but dude, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods. Let's see here. On May the 24th, I think I'm playing Dingbats.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I am, but I'm not with Helstar yet. But I know we will in the summer.
Oh, I don't care. I'll come down
we're going
to
to
you
be
anyway.
piecing together. Like I said, we're going to be piecing an East Coast tour. We're going to do New York City, probably Worcester, probably Philly, and Dingbats.
Cool.
So when we do Helstar, but I'm coming there on May the 29th with Denim and Leather.
Cool.
And there's a Black Sabbath tribute and some other kind of tribute band playing with us that we're the headliner that night.
Oh, great, man. Can't wait to see you
so
guys.
I will be at Dingbat, so let me know if you want to come, so I'll make sure I'll have your name on the list. Just get in touch with Dustin. He knows about that show because they're trying to get me some more press while I'm going to be in the East Coast for a whole week, actually.
Cool.
I fly straight from Europe, and then I go to the East Coast, and I relax for a couple of days, and then I do those shows, and then I relax for a few more days, then I fly to the West Coast from there.
Cool. Okay, I'll definitely get in touch with Dustin, and we'll definitely hook up when I
May the 29th.
Okay, man.
All right.
You have anything to say to the fans out there?
Well, hey, you know what, dudes and dudettes, just thanks for following me all these years and being loyal to us and, appreciating everything we're doing. And like I said, for you old Helstar fans, and I'm not making fun of you because you're old, because I'm fucking old too, but and the new ones, I hope that this album is the one that makes us all one happy little Helstar family. We can all get along.
Cool. Definitely. Thanks a lot, James.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.